Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to Daily Code Buffer. In this video, we are going to see how to use MySQL database in Spring Boot. So let's jump into it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notified of all new videos. So for first, we will go to a browser and we will go to Spring Initializer. And here we'll be creating a new project. We'll add the group ID over here as a Daily Code Buffer. We'll give the artifact name as Spring Boot MySQL Demo, and we will remove this packaging information over here. Okay, our packaging type will be of jar type and my Java version would be Java 11. Now let's add the dependencies. We'll add the dependency of Spring Web. We'll add the JPA dependencies. We'll add Project Lombok, and we'll be adding the MySQL driver dependencies. Okay, now let's generate this project, and now let's kick off IntelliJ IDEA and open this project into that. Now you can see that my project is open over here. Let's go to pom.xml file and see that we have Spring Boot Starter JPA, Spring Boot Web, and the MySQL connector, okay, which we added over here, and the Project Lombok dependencies. Okay, now from this application we'll be connecting to MySQL. So for that we need to install MySQL as well, hoping that MySQL will be installed in your machine. Okay, I have installed in my machine and I have opened it over here in MySQL Workbench. You can see that I have already connected to my MySQL. Let's create a new schema and we will connect to that schema and we will create a table to it and store the data into it. Okay, so we'll go to create a new schema. We'll give the schema name as my application. We'll apply it. So you can see that the my application schema is created. Now we'll be using this my application schema and we'll be using Hibernate to create a table and store the data into it using JPA. Okay, so let's go to our code. Okay, we'll be back to our IntelliJ IDEA and let's create the files over here. First what we'll do, we will add the property configurations for connecting to MySQL. Okay, so I'll be just adding the server.port equals to 8081. My application will be running on this port. Okay, and these are the properties for connecting to MySQL database, okay, using Hibernate. So you can see that spring.datasource.url. So this is the URL of MySQL database. Will be giving JDBC MySQL, and this will be the URL of your MySQL with port number. I have installed in my local host and the port is 3306. So you can see that schema name we have defined over here, that is my application. We just created the my application over here. Okay, so that we are using, and you can see that spring.datasource.username and password. So the both are root and root, so you can define your own username and password defined for your MySQL. And you can see that spring.jpa.hibernate.ddl auto. So here we have added the update. So whenever there is a DDL modification, Hibernate will be responsible to update those operations. So here we'll be creating a table from our JPA and Hibernate would be responsible to create that table and store the data into it. Okay, so let's create a REST endpoint, and with that REST endpoint we'll be storing the data. So let's create a controller. We'll create a new controller, user controller. Okay, we'll be creating a user model and we'll be creating a user repository. Okay, so let's go to the user class and we'll define this as an entity. Okay, in this entity we can define the name. So this name will reflect into your database. So whatever name you define here, that will be the name of your table. Okay, I'm adding as TBL user. Now let's add the properties. Okay, we'll be adding private integer user ID, private string username, private string email ID, private integer age. Okay, now we'll define this as a primary key with ID annotation and we'll be using the generated value annotation, and we'll define strategy as generation type dot auto, so this will be automatically generated. Now if you don't define any column information over here, then the default column name would be the name of your property. Okay, so for user ID it would be user ID, for username it would be username, and similarly for the rest. Now if you want to define anything else than user ID, then you can use with @column annotation, and you can define the name over here with user underscore ID. So in database your user ID field will be created with user underscore ID. Okay, the same way you can define for others as well. We'll define for email as well, name equals to email underscore ID, and for age we will keep the same. Okay, so we are using Lombok, so we'll be annotating the class with @data. Now let's go to the user repository. I did the mistake, it should be interface, right? I'll change to interface. This is my user repository interface, and this is extending JPA repository. Okay, my JPA repository is of type user and the ID is of integer type. Okay, now we'll be using this user repository to our save or get the data. Okay, we'll go to user controller and we'll be creating the endpoints over here. Okay, we'll annotate with REST controller. We'll create the object of the interface, user repository, private user repository. Okay, and we'll annotate with @autowired. And let's create the method public string create user. Will be taking as request body as of type user, and we'll annotate the method with post mapping. The URL is /user. Okay, now we have to save the data, so we'll be using user repository dot save, and we'll be passing the user object. So this will do the save operation and will return user added successfully. Okay, one more method to fetch the data. Okay, so we'll be using public list of user get all user. Okay, and we'll annotate this with @get mapping, and the URL will specify is /user. Okay, and here we'll be returning as return user repository dot find all. So this will return all the users stored. So our application is almost ready. Now we need to enable the JPA repositories. Okay, so for that we'll go to our Spring Boot main application file and we will enable the JPA repositories. Okay, now my application is ready. My application will be running on port 8081. So let's run the application. You can see that my application is starting and it started. Okay, now let's go to Postman and check this. Now as per the application, if you go to user controller, then my endpoints are /user. That means localhost colon 8081 is the port and /user is my endpoint. So we'll go to localhost colon 8081 /user. We'll be using the post body. Okay, and this is my JSON data that we have to pass. Okay, so we'll be passing username, email ID and age. Okay, so this is the username Tony, email ID tony@gmail.com and age. So once we send the data, then it should save to my database. Okay, you can see that user added successfully. Okay, let's add one more user, Shabir 26. Okay, send. You can see that user added successfully. Now if we change post to get method, then we should get all the saved users. You can see that all the users saved I am getting. Now if you go to our database MySQL and check there, you go to MySQL Workbench and let's refresh the schema. You can see that table is created with tbl_user, which we provided in our application. Okay, here. So let's get the data. You can see that the data is been stored over here. Okay, you can also see that whatever we define the column name, right, user_name, email_id, user_id has been reflecting over here. So this way you can use MySQL using Spring Boot to store your data. So that's it in this video. If you have any queries, please let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash that like button and we will see you in the next video.